Hi. The topic I would like to talk about today is pseudo-listening. Pseudo-listening can be found in Chapter 7 and page 177 of the textbook. The textbook defines pseudo-listening as pretending to listen by nodding or saying uh-huh when you're not paying attention at all. The textbook gives a great example here, which I may be a little biased. I'm a lifetime fan of The Simpsons, but it gives the example of Homer Simpson and his boss, Mr. Burns. Oftentimes, Mr. Burns will be talking to Homer Simpson and giving him feedback on his poor job performance or giving him a task to do, and Homer is standing there simply nodding. Oftentimes, while Homer is doing this nodding, the cartoon will depict a thought bubble off to the side, and in this thought bubble will be a donut or whatever food Homer's thinking of, or a toy monkey playing cymbals, and it genuinely shows pseudo listening in the most visual way possible. Um, as an adult, I was once at a conference, and this conference had probably 350 people, and the speaker was speaking on the difference between listening and hearing, and the speaker challenged everyone to stand up and play a game of Simon Says. Whenever we were out by doing something that Simon didn't say, we were instructed to sit down. And this was purely on the honor system, but I feel most people adhered to the rules because by round 6, this room full of grown adults was almost complete with people sitting down and just a few people standing. And to me, this was, as an adult, this was the first time that I had played Simon Says, and this was a mind blowing example of the difference of hearing and listening. The textbook also tells us that pseudo listening can have very bad consequences. We can miss instructions if we're listening to a professor, or we're listening to a boss man as they're explaining something to us or giving us a task to do. If we think we already know what they're going to say, or we think that we already have the information that they're giving us, then we simply nod and say uh-huh, and we find later on that we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. Um, Also, pseudo listening can get you in a bad situation because you can inadvertently agree to something and you have no clue. I am guilty of this. I once obligated myself to be at 2 Thanksgiving dinners because 5 people were talking to me and I was pretending to listen to them all. And that is exactly what pseudo listening is. I think that pseudo listening is not listening at all, it is simply hearing.